Well, how you doing? Welcome to Hibachi Talk. Nice to see you've joined us again to spend some time. I'm Gordon, the tech guy, and I'm here with my good buddy Andrew, the security guy.
Aloha, I'm Andrew.
Nice to see you again, Ro.
Nice to see you, brother. How was your week?
Our Friday lunches are just so wonderful.
How was your week in tech?
It was terrific week in tech. You can tell by my voice I've been talking too much.
Right
We're going to have kind of a fun show tonight because
right.
we've got social media. We're going to cover a lot of stuff. And we have a good friend, Tara Coomans, coming in. I like, she's a chief brainstormer.
I saw that.
Yeah, I know. At Akamai.
I wish I could be that in my house.
Yeah, right.
It's not going to happen.
Make it happen. I already know where your brainstorming's going. You're done. So, just like me. So, it's also Valentine's weekend coming up. So we've got, that's happening. Angus is going to come on and give us
I'll be able to play with that a little bit.
I know. I got married on Valentine's Day, so I wouldn't forget.
Is that right?
Yeah, but I keep forgetting when Valentine's Day is. So that's.
So when are we going to get your chief brainstormer on here is the question.
Yeah, that's right.
I want to hear about these robotics.
Well, she's so excited about my show, she hasn't even watched it yet. So I mean, we have a big following. I notice now we're up to 4.
Awesome.
So, yeah,
Awesome. Thank you.
I think
all 4 of you.
Yeah, all 4 of you. Yeah, I think it's you 3 times though. That's what I think it is actually. So anyway, so we're going to talk about social media and a lot of the things that have happened in that realm in the past number of years, and I'll talk about some of the things we did when I was with the city. You can talk about how the things have been happening and what's going on. What I think I'd bring to the forefront though is that the Brian Williams story, the helicopter, the story on the newscaster who is now
not newscasting,
not a newscaster anymore.
6 month forced delay.
Yeah,
or
6 months. Yeah, without pay. But it's an interesting thing is that what he was talking about was something that had happened many, many, many months prior. It wasn't like it was an immediate thing. And it blew up when social media took it and said, wait, that didn't really happen. And so it's really changing the way the news have to look at the news. Because if you think, in the days gone by when I would go home, watch the news at night, you'd sit there, you'd digest what was coming in, and that would be your education for the day. But now with social media, we're constantly getting bombarded from all other forms of news coverage, and so and I kind of like it because it's put newscasters and it's put people like us.
Hibachi Talks. They're tuning in here to get information.
Well, it puts us on our good behavior because we can't go off and be puffing and spoofing and saying kinds of things that could come back and haunt us. So I think that's pretty.
So you think it's promoting responsible behavior out there more so? Okay, well, I'm going to talk about how that's used a little bit by some more nefarious types.
Right, because there's
good.
Yeah, there are a few.
Coin.
Well, and it's like we were talking is I don't think people realize that the moment they go on the internet, whether it be a social media site, or whether it be just any website, you're immediately tracked. You're immediately know where you're going.
There's no anonymity.
And I would encourage you if you're out there and you want to see what really happens, there's a couple of products out there. One called Lightbeam that runs in Firefox. It's an add-on that you put in there, and then another one that's in Google Chrome. It's called Collusion for Google Chrome.
Sure.
So you put those on there, and then they graphically show you the site you went to, and within milliseconds, now who's tracking you, whether it be for your data, for where you went, what you were looking for, whether you wanted to buy something. Mary talked about it last week.
I think Mary would call those redirects, right?
Redirects.
How they're trying to find what you're looking at so they can bounce a price to you
all back in there. So those are the kind of the neat things that are out there, and I really would encourage you to take a look at it, because I think you'll be somewhat shocked at how much information you are giving out there. Which brings us to things like Facebook. And you have a Facebook account?
I have a closed Facebook account.
Oh, you have a closed Facebook account?
It's just off.
Oh,
it's there.
So
but there's nothing on. I don't visit it anymore.
But
I ran it for about 6 years.
6 years, and then why did you get off?
It's just too unsafe.
Oh, so here you go, Mr. Safety again.
Sorry.
So what's unsafe about it as far as why is it unsafe? Because I have a Facebook account.
I think that there's information that I put out there that I think people could use to gain access to other information about me. And I'll talk a little bit about what we call pretexting and social engineering in the security
and what they
minute.
have
So
on
I think
that
people
side.
should be aware of what they share.
So, well,
Because it's all out there
I mean,
forever. It's out
I'm
there.
on it. The reason I got onto Facebook was so I could track my grandkids. I mean,
Sure.
literally had to go because then I had to go and make sure when they put things up there that I wasn't particularly thrilled with, remind them about the Bank of Grandpa and
Bank of Grandpa,
and how that
I like that.
how that might get closed down if they
Sure.
continue to do what they're doing. So, so that's.
But it's still there.
Oh yeah, they're still there.
No, I mean, it's still there. All that data's still there.
Yeah,
Unless
that's
you
right.
go
Yeah,
take it.
and all that stuff is
It
there
lives
and
forever.
and it lives forever. And you go apply for a job, and next thing you know, this stuff pops up. So, but but I have a Facebook account, and I don't
Sure.
do much on it other than to track the kids, like I said,
Sure.
or
You're a voyeur,
I-
a voyeuristic user.
Yeah, right.
You're not posting. You're just reading everybody else's
Well,
life.
the 22-year-old that lives in Hollywood, he dates a lot, so I like to see who he's dating.
Oh, I
and,
see, I
and they're,
see.
that's
That
kinda,
is voyeurism,
They're
maybe.
kind of cute.
Okay, right on.
So, but that's one of the things that happens. Now, what I find interesting is that the younger generation, I'm talking younger, like below 20s now, Facebook is not one of their
Yeah, I don't think
social
so.
medias of choice.
Tara will probably have some data for us on that. I think probably mid-20s and beyond, lower than the mid-20s, I'm sure, are using other forms today, Instagram, Pinterest, things like that.
Yeah,
They're doing Snapchat,
Pinterest.
WhatsApp, things like that.
Secret is another one that's out there.
Yeah.
One called Whisper is another one out
How are
there.
they dating is the question. Since it's
How are
Valentine's,
they,
I mean, I
how
wonder
are
what
they
they're
dating?
using for that.
Yeah,
you
well,
know?
then there's Tinder.
That's the big- sure.
Tinder, and then there's all the other Match.com thingies and all the ones
Mm-hmm.
that are out there. So that's another one. Then there's now the number one. So everybody should know this answer. The number one social media site in the world today is
Facebook, I'm
yes,
guessing.
it's
Sure.
Facebook. So number two.
Twitter?
You got it. You nailed it. So
Sure.
Twitter's number two. Google Plus is in there at number 5. So they've certainly come up the ladder in the past.
And I use
number
all
of
of them
years.
for business,
Yeah. So yeah,
You gotta
monkey
be out,
business.
you got to be out there for business.
Monkey business.
No, real business.
Oh, real business.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, just being out there anyway,
Yeah,
sharing
just
information.
sharing your stuff. Okay. So that the intriguing piece for me is now we've got how much time do you spend per day going through all these various social media sites that you don't belong to? I mean, but that the others do. So we're
Well-
always checking.
So if I'm not on Hibachi Talk, I'm on social media.
Right.
It's that simple.
Oh, yeah,
So
so-
the other 39 hours a week that are the 8 to 5 hours, and then all night and all morning
Yeah.
before I work.
So you're not like many of us that check your social media before you go to bed at night.
Oh no,
Check
it's,
it first
it's live.
thing in the morning.
I'm on now. I'm checking
okay.
following our Twitter feed
Well, I'm
now.
just giving you a sense of what's happened to me in my life, and I'm the oldest star in the sky. But morning when I get up, first thing I do is go check out what's happened on social media. Before I go to bed at night, I'm checking out everything on social media.
Is it for news though? More for news.
It's more for
you're
news.
keeping up with a little bit of
Yeah,
family,
yeah.
but you're keeping up with the industry.
yeah.
You're keeping up with technology.
Technology, yeah.
I mean, isn't the newspaper the day behind? I mean, I read the paper every morning, but I've seen most of that already.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? Yeah, so
And-
most of that you've already seen before
And-
you've picked up the paper.
Network news, TV. I mean, if it didn't just happen and they got cameras there, the stories they're running are oftentimes weeks old.
Right.
In my opinion, and I don't know if it's because I'm so close to the forefront of technology that and what I follow, that it takes it a while to bubble up for them to make a story of it. But
Right.
it's usually old by the time I see it on television, which
Yeah.
is amazing.
Which is really a shift. I mean, just a total shift
Sure.
in how things are happening on that. And so I'll kind of talk about how we used it. We used social media when I was with the city. So
Oh, yeah, okay.
so we
Good.
that was and that was in its very beginning days. When Twitter was first coming out. Facebook obviously already had their grounds in there and had a lot happening. But we had the APEC event that was happening.
Sure, I remember.
Remember all the security and everything that was going on? And when that was happening, one of the key tools that we brought to the forefront that when the APEC people came here, like the FBI and the CIA and all the different law enforcement branches, is we brought the idea of let's monitor all of the social media sites. So let's monitor all the Facebook sites. Let's, monitor all the hashtags. Let's monitor Twitter.
Oh, to
And
see if people were going to
They
gather.
were going to gather and see what was going to
Okay,
happen.
gotcha.
Now, it wasn't that you were going to stop them from doing that.
Yeah, but you could just
But
be
then you would
prepared.
know. And what got to be kind of pretty neat is that we'd see, okay, oh, they're going to do a march. This group plans on doing a march, between this location and this location at this time on this day. And no, they didn't announce it anywhere, but they were putting it out on their social media. They were, letting everybody know. And so what we would do is we would send the appropriate law enforcement agencies down there to make sure that they didn't block traffic, they didn't, get themselves into trouble, but they could still, protest what they were doing.
Right.
We drove them crazy because they couldn't figure out how we knew. How we knew before they, they'd show up at some place and the first responders were already there. And they would and not stop them, but give them the ability to do that. So it was a cool tool to use. The other one that is during the tsunamis and all of those the power outages that we had. We knew before the news media knew what parts of town were having their electricity restored. You know why? Because they got online and started tweeting.
Oh, people, would say that.
From
back up.
Kailua or where it is, and you go, oh, Kailua's got power now. And then the electric guys, he would be there. We say, oh, by the way, power's up in Kailua. And they haven't even reported to us that power's up in Kailua.
Sure.
And so we were, again, social media was, we were just really tapping that tool to see what's going on.
I think the consumer's jumping on the, hey, I'm back on, and the other guys are, Hiko's actually running tests to make sure it's going to be stable and before they report to you.
Right.
So I think that's probably some of that delay.
So,
but it leads me to my topic.
Which I'm punting to you right now.
Let's do the security minute.
Give me your security minute.
All right. So I want to talk today about an item that you hear it called social engineering, you hear it called pretexting, but human beings have a natural tendency to trust. And people are basically taking advantage of that tendency. They're typically calling maybe as a political poll, maybe calling as HPD, but they're going to impersonate someone or some entity under the pretext of an event. They're going to try to describe to you a scenario that you'll believe, and they're going to try to start collecting information from you. They want to use this information and combine that maybe with some other social media information that you've published to try to scrape up a way to figure out your passwords and a way to figure out your identity, or a way to maybe call your bank and know your grandmother's maiden name and your pet's name and get the bank to actually do some things for them on your behalf. So they're impersonating you with this information. They become a believable person because they learn things about you. And that's the problem of putting a lot of this information out, especially if you put out information that is personal to you that you use perhaps as a piece of your password, like a pet's name, for example.
Right.
So
yeah, because you got pictures of your pets on Facebook, or your mom.
Yeah, and a lot of this information, your children have probably been out there since they were born. If they've been born in the last 5 or 6 years, they've got an entire Facebook profile. So some of the things, just some of my advice, if you get an unexpected caller, you want to get their number and you want to call that organization back and ask for that person and make sure they're really from there if they ask you any kind of information about yourself. Never let anyone inside your home. There's no tax person. None of these people are going to come to do an assessment and need to get access inside of your home. Always confirm the identity of any type of a surprise caller or a surprise visitor if it's unexpected. And just never put information online that could be used to figure out your password or a password strategy by other people if they combine it with other social information.
All right, it's good to know.
All right, so who's got your back?
Yeah, you got my back. Anyways, that time for me to do my little break.
All right.
So we'll head off and do that, and then we'll come back and we'll find out what Angus has got on his mind today.
Okay.
All right, and
See you in
then
a
Tara will be joining us right now.
All right.
All right, see y'all.
Thanks.
Here's the deal. I'm Jay Fidel. I'm the host of Hawaii, the State of Clean Energy, which is the Energy Policy Forum's program on Wednesday. That's how we call Wednesday Energy Wednesday. We call it Energy Wednesday every Wednesday. Are you surprised? Okay, and we try to get guys like Jim Alberts here from Hawaiian Electric who can tell us what's really going on in energy. We want to be informed. It's so important. It's the most important initiative in our state. clean energy is major, okay? And that's why we cover it on this show. That's the deal. What do you think, Sharon?
I think that's great. That's why we're here every Wednesday from 4 to 5, and we hope you all join us so we can hear people like Jim coming on our show and co-host Ray Starling from Hawaii Energy.
Okay, Jim, you've been here today. You've seen this. You heard what she said. What do you think?
I think it's a tremendous opportunity for people to come together and talk about the issues. Oftentimes, there isn't a good forum to bring these key issues out into the public, and this is a tremendous way to go about it. And the activity of this show is essential to keep talking about energy because, as you said, it's such an essential part of our lives that we need to pay attention to it and we need to think about the future.
Okay, Ray, your turn.
Well, this is a special time in the history of Hawaii where we're making some pretty radical changes in the way we use energy and generate energy. And this show is the one place you can count on coming to every Wednesday and hearing something about the latest issues that are on the table, being discussed, that will affect us all going forward. So come join us, and if you have some ideas you want to share with us about energy, give us a call and let us know. We'll put you up here and let you talk for an hour. So come see us.
Thanks, Ray. Thanks, Sharon. Thanks, Jim. It's great to be, from ThinkTech's point of view, it's great to have this show. We love the show. It's our most important show. So come around and listen to us 4 to 5 on Wednesday. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Hi, I'm your host on ThinkTech Asia, Bill Sharp. I look forward to you joining us each Monday between 4 and 5 o'clock when we film right here in our studio in downtown Honolulu. The show, ThinkTech Asia, focuses on contemporary events in Asia. And by Asia, we mean anything from Hawaii, south to Australia and New Zealand, west to Pakistan, and as far north as the Russian Far East. Clearly, this is one of the most economically dynamic centers of the world, and we bring you up to date on what's going on in a whole host of countries in this very vital region. We look forward to seeing you. Aloha.
Hi, I'm Jay Fidel. That's Ted Ralston. You know, Ted is the host of Where the Road Leads. It shows every Friday from 4 to 5 p.m. It's about technology. It's about how people collaborating and solve problems with modern technology. It's where the road leads. We all know that. We should all be listening. Join us there, 4 to 5 p.m. every Friday. Now, what about that do you agree with?
All of it.
I knew he'd say that. Aloha. Say aloha.
Aloha.
Good.
Andrew, you're back.
All right, welcome back to Hibachi Talk. Andrew, the security guy. I'm here with Angus. Angus, what kind of tech toys you got for me this week, man?
Hey, Andrew, how you doing there, lad?
All right.
Oh, tell you, lad, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I cannot do tech toys this week.
Why?
You know, it's Valentine's Day this
I know.
weekend. You know? And you know,
What's up?
Drew, I think I found the love of my life. I think I found this real sweetheart. You know, I was on the dating sites, you know, and I found this really sweetheart of a lady.
Angus, what have you been on, Christian Mingle?
No. Hey, believe it or not, this is a great one. It's called puppetmingle.com. So it was awesome. And so I found this real beauty on there, you know, and you know what it's like for me is for sitting at home or going to the pub. I have to sit there and drink by myself all the time, and it's super sad.
Angus,
you
I
know?
can't picture you being
Oh, Daddy, look at that. This is me, poor sad, eh? You know, Angus is sitting there at the pub, you know, all by myself, me loneliness self there, and, you know, drowning my sorrows in a wee Guinness. But no, now I found this sweetheart online, and we've been communicating on the puppet singles, and she's just a wee doll. No, and she's wearing this cute little red dress. It's a really amazing red dress. Yeah, there she is.
Ah.
Isn't she?
What's her name?
That's Beth Ann.
And she found her on Tinder?
No, not Tinder. That's not the one for me. Shame on you, not Tinder. So, no, it's
Where is she from? Where's she at?
No, she's puppetsingles.com.
Okay. Where is she?
She's somewhere in Florida.
I see.
So, but anyway, you know, Andrew, I'm a little bit upset at myself.
Tell me.
I kind of lied about my age when I was on the website.
Why?
Yeah, and you know,
Angus,
I
they're gonna find out.
I told her a wee fib about
What do you
my age.
mean?
Well, it wasn't quite there.
Did you send a picture?
I did send a picture.
Angus, was it your picture?
Well, it's me, but it was a wee bit younger ago, so I don't quite look the same No, and she's gonna come visit. No, so
Angus,
there it is.
that's your son.
I know. Look at the red hair and the beard and everything. Then so what happens when you get a wee bit older?
That's just a few weeks ago then.
I'm afraid if she finds out what I did, she's gonna be really upset. Anyway, it's
Angus,
it's,
I think we're getting a. Yeah, she sent a Twitter feed.
Oh, you got a feed?
She's watching this now.
Oh, she's watching this now.
I think she's figured out you're not so young anymore.
Oh, no, Beth Ann, I'm so sorry.
There's a photo.
I'm sorry,
So she sent us her recent photo just to keep us up to speed.
Oh, okay. Well, Beth Ann, I'm so sorry.
Do we have it?
So, Beth Ann,
There you go. I think she's not in the red dress.
That's Beth Ann. You're not the same.
Angus! Angus has fainted. Angus is gone. Beth Ann, please give us a call. We need to let you talk with Angus and sort this out. What we're going to do is move on and bring Tara Coomans in. She can help us out with a little bit of social media. Maybe she can help out Angus with his trouble. Tara, welcome.
Hi guys.
Thank you.
Tara.
Thanks for having me. You know, Angus and Beth Ann are in good company. You know, the fourth most common lie in online dating profiles is age.
Age.
Is it really?
Yes. So he's in good shape. I mean, you know, he's common.
He fits the profile.
He fits the profile. Right.
When he wakes up, let him know it's okay.
Yeah, we'll let him
Beth
know.
Ann still wants to talk.
Wait till Beth Ann gets off the
Guess
plane.
what number one is? This will probably
what?
impact
Oh, yeah, what
Angus
is number
too.
one? What?
Height.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, that's going to impact him big time.
I wonder if
Right?
he sent it. He doesn't even have legs.
Right.
Yeah.
He's gonna have a whole box of things to deal with.
I wonder if
think.
Beth Ann knows that.
Well, I wonder if Beth Ann has legs.
It's puppet singles, so you
Yeah.
figure they got it sorted out.
Hopefully
Yeah,
got
the
it sorted.
physique thing might be an assumption.
Yeah.
Wow,
You know,
wow.
Maybe.
Nice. So what else goes on? What's number 2? Height,
Weight.
weight.
Wait.
Right.
Oh, yeah, everybody always says they're heavier.
Right. I always add an extra 10 pounds when someone asks me my weight.
Yeah,
Yeah,
true.
for sure.
Of course, we all do that.
Physique.
Okay.
Okay.
That's the next one.
What do they say? Slim, I've never
Yeah.
been on.
No, you
I've
Photoshop.
been married too long
you
to get on a
Photoshop
dating
your
site.
head on Arnold Schwarzenegger's body.
You do. And then you show up and they kick you to the curb. They kick sand in your face.
Yeah, you're done. You're toast. So anyway, let's come back to you. So nice to have you on the show, and thanks so much for being here.
Yeah.
So one of our always standard questions, the local style questions, is: so where'd you grow up and where'd you go to school? And
Well, I grew up in Green Bay, Wisconsin, but I went to high school and college in Phoenix area, and I went to ASU.
Wow. Arizona State.
Arizona
Nice.
State. I
Sun
studied.
Devils.
Yes, I know. Go Devils! Fear the fork.
I saw Dick Tomey last night.
You did.
Yes. So,
Yay! I'm still a Sun Devils fan.
Oh yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. I
And
love the Sun Devils.
Did you grow up on the farm in
in Green Bay?
In Green
Bay?
In Green Bay, eh?
No, I didn't grow up on a farm.
Oh.
But I did have a really lovely childhood of, motorcycles and wild animals, and I had a really great, a really great way to grow up.
Oh,
Really fantastic way to
fantastic.
grow up. Yeah, absolutely.
And so now, again, with two weekends in a row, we've had females on the show.
Yes.
Because to show that
Yes,
it's not by
it's
no
married.
means is it a male-dominated industry.
Right, I
at
agree.
all. And you've got a very unique business
Yeah.
model with
Yeah.
what you do. So try to help me understand what
Well,
it is you
how'd
do.
you get into
How do you
tech? I
brainstorm?
want to know how she got
Okay,
in tech
so-
first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me get
So
into
I
it.
don't really
Alright.
consider myself a tech person. Okay, I'm a communicator. I studied in
Okay.
college international communication.
Oh, really?
Because what was fascinating to me is the different ways in which the priorities that they put on communication, right? So, for example, we have a very unique culture here in Hawaii. If you don't understand it, if you don't get on board with it, it's gonna be really hard for you to operate. Well, social media is a lot like that, and that's how I got into social media. Okay, so for me, it's just another tool for communication. Okay, it's a platform for communication. Now, I admit to nerding out on the technology on occasion. I'm fascinated by the things that technology can do. I'm a marketer, so I'm fascinated. Some of the information that you were talking about earlier, I'm super fascinated about the idea that we can custom tailor a message to the person who is going to be ultimately reading it, right? So that it's more interesting and relevant to them.
So you're taking, I'll take what Mary was saying last week from her website development
Yeah,
side.
yeah.
So we've gone brochureware to
Yeah.
very sophisticated websites, and now you're taking it to the next level with the social media add-on component.
Yeah, which is it's a communication tool, right? It's
Okay.
two ways. So we've evolved. We evolved from a static platform brochure,
Right.
into basically real-time engagement even on your website, right?
We just made Angus faint. That's
Right.
how dynamic
That's
it
how
is.
dynamic
Yeah,
it
that's
is.
right.
Just because
Right,
the
exactly.
media got updated that quickly.
Ahead of time, right.
In real time, he
In
got
real
some
time.
more information.
That he
Right.
needed to
Shook him
know.
up a little.
Yeah.
Right. We can find out all kinds of things when we have, in real time to help us communicate better. It's not about finding creepy out information. For me, this is one of the things that makes me unique. I'm not really interested in so much like demographics. I mean, that's somewhat important, but I'm more interested in what, regardless of your age or your gender, I'm more interested in what actually motivates you, right? So we know there's been some research done, it's sort of a new field, but we know, for example, we can kind of identify personality types based on the kind of language you use.
Ah, I
Okay.
see.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so if I know something, if I can make some assumptions about your personality type, now I can craft a message that is geared for you. Not me.
You'll respond
You'll
to it.
respond to it. So it's all about
Like,
trying to
like optimism, pessimism, those sort of
introversion,
characteristics. Gotcha.
extroversion,
Sure,
extroversion. Yes, exactly.
Gotcha.
These, we're all somewhere on these spectrums, right? We
Sure.
all have, it's about 7 or 8 personality traits, and we're all somewhere
Right,
on this
right.
spectrum.
Per,
Okay.
per thing. Is it sort of depending even on the
Sure.
like you might be this way about cars, but
That's right.
that way about your relationships or something.
Right. So if I know that your interests in cars, for example, and I know that you're an extrovert, for example, maybe I would tell you via social media about events that are car related. Okay. If I know that you're an introvert, I might send you back to the website and say, hey, there's a whole bunch of people on our forum. On our chat board, that are talking about cars, right? So if I can kind of identify that, and it's very difficult to scale, and it's
So yeah, I'm trying to think. You're going to put a Myers-Briggs kind of thing on everybody,
Almost.
and you say,
yeah.
okay, we've determined that this person is a Myers-Briggs touching, feeling, sensing person, and this one is this one, and then this one is this one.
What I try and do is ask my clients to narrow it down. So
Okay.
give me the top 3, because that way we can tailor our public messages to the most important groups of people. Who's most likely to want to use your product? Who's most likely to engage with your product?
Right.
So we know that, especially in a consumer-based thing, right? We know that just about everybody could use this product. But who's most likely?
Right.
Who's going to be most passionate about it?
Yeah.
Who's going to be most excited about it? So we can use social media also to help us determine some of who those people are. Who's really talking about us? Who's engaging without us even asking?
And are those? So do you have some filtering tools that you can run there? Like you scrape some of the things they've said and kind of run that through.
I don't do
a
it that
filter?
way.
Okay.
I do it the other way, which is I do a more of a pull approach. Okay,
Okay.
which is if I'm putting out information and content that you find relevant because we've identified
Okay.
your
sure.
personality type and that will pull you to us.
I see.
So I don't
Interesting.
necessarily want to scrape that information. One, because I don't want to be responsible for that data.
Yeah.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and also it's kind of a black hat, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty. So I don't want to do that for my clients. I want to help them attract the right people.
I gotcha.
And we do that by doing some listening. We listen very, very closely on social media. What are people saying? Pros, cons, positive, negative. What kind of person is attracted to us? What kind of person is repelled from us?
Right, from what goes on.
Yeah.
I just saw yesterday. There was a woman in Britain who posted on Yelp
Yeah.
negative about her dentist,
Oh.
and he came back to her and said, "If you leave it on there, we're going to sue you." And so, but the question is, can he or can he not sue them for posting that on there? So she took it off and said, "I'm taking it off because my dentist said he's going to sue me."
Right.
He said, "I'm going to sue you for that." So so it's going to be an interesting, it's an interesting kind of
Yeah.
thing that's out
Yeah,
there.
that is interesting.
And I've seen social media where like even Yelp, for example, they could like hold you hostage and say, if you don't advertise this or do this, we're going to make sure these kinds of postings happening and so on. So is that related to what you're doing, or is it's you're again still trying to pull the client towards you?
My approach, okay, is to say, look, for Yelp, for example, some people are going to come into your place and have a positive experience. Some people are going to have a not great experience, right? That's just the fact of life, right? But let's focus on communicating and creating relationships with people who are likely to enjoy your product, okay?
Wow.
So if you have, if you're a particular kind of restaurant, you have a particular kind of food, who loves this kind of food? And who might really appreciate the fact that you do something funky with this particular dish? Or, okay, so in other words, yes, we know that some people are gonna not enjoy not everybody's going to enjoy the product. That's fine. We're going to focus on finding those who are really going to be excited about it.
Cool.
Or maybe
All right,
only,
well, I gotta
only
jump-
bring in people who post positive
Yeah.
comments about things. They never post negative things.
But
That's a little hard to
But
do,
let's,
yeah.
let's hold that thought, because you've got me thinking about different, I got
okay.
another set of questions to ask you. But in order to do that, we have to
Yeah.
pay the bills. So we're gonna,
Let's do
we're
that.
gonna go refresh our libations here, and then we'll be back in a minute or so. Thank you.
Hi, aloha. My name is Chris Leatham, and I host a show called The Economy and You. The show plays every Wednesday at noon, and on my show, I bring on guests who are interested or working in the technology space. And so I'd like you to come and watch the show and learn with me about all the sort of exciting things that we're doing in Hawaii to build and grow our economy ecosystem. So I'd like to say aloha, and I look forward to seeing you on the show.
We had to do a rhythm on this.
There you go.
How you doing? Welcome back to Ibashi Talk. Nice to see you again, and see you've replenished your libations. And I'm here with Andrew, the security guy, and Tara, the brainstormer. And we're
Love
so
that
happy to have
title.
you. So
Love that title.
with Akamai marketing, and so, but one of the things that you just said a second ago was kind of intrigued me is like knowing what kind of foods you like, and then pulling that in.
Right.
So I never thought of it that way.
Right.
It's so, because I'm always thinking of push.
Yes, I know. That's exactly right.
So you got me thinking on what other, so restaurants are one, what other types
I mean,
of
What kind of business doesn't have, especially consumer-based, right?
Right.
But even in B2B, but what kind of business doesn't have somebody who's either really excited about their stuff and really passionate about it? Almost every kind of business has advocates, natural
right,
advocates.
right.
Okay. Otherwise, the product wouldn't exist.
Sure.
Okay,
Right.
so, example, iPhone, right? In the beginning, iPhones, very expensive and kind of nerdy, right? So who did they go after? Early adopters, right? People who were like really excited. Also, you don't get with your iPhone a booklet of how to use your iPhone. You sort of have to work through it,
Right.
maybe even look it up online, right?
Sure.
Okay, so early on, early adopters that are innovative personality types.
Right.
Where do innovative personality types tend to gather, right? Where do they tend to be? So that was the whole model with the iPhone was a pull.
okay.
Okay, that was the whole model.
I see.
Now it's trickled down to people who aren't necessarily innovative, okay, but like to see themselves as innovators.
As innovators.
They
As-
don't have to be innovators.
Right.
They only have to think that they are or want to be that.
Right.
Okay.
So yeah, so they did a good job. You know, Apple did a really good job
Yeah.
in making you want to be a owner of their product.
Well,
Yes.
I'm thinking about all those long lines to get
Yes.
it when it was issued. Did that happen before that device? Did it happen with iPad? Did it happen? You know, I don't recall.
It didn't
I just-
happen with iPods.
Yeah,
Definitely
it
not.
didn't- no,
so, I mean, think
iPods, it
about,
didn't
I
happen.
mean, I'm just thinking about that
Yeah.
they created that. People were camping out. I mean, I don't know where else that came, but that was, you know,
Well-
the first wave. The adopters got the phones. The second
Yes.
wave, it was everybody that wanted to be involved with those guys.
It was the pull.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
and
pull.
They pulled them to
It's
pulled
mag-
them to the point of camping
it's
on the
magnetic.
sidewalk overnight.
I
Yes.
know, that's
That's
true.
Can you
pull.
imagine people sitting outside your?
Wow.
Yeah.
For you, but you.
I call that a
you
security
mentioned that
problem.
You mentioned that earlier.
But I'm not in
when
retail.
we were talking about Steve Jobs. It was
Right.
actually like, it was him, right?
Yeah.
It was his ability
Vision.
to attract
Yes.
the
right.
kind of people
Yes.
that wanted to be kind of like him.
He was very clear on that. I don't know. I mean, I don't know that they were necessarily people like him. I think he just understood exactly who the people were.
He spoke to them.
Yeah, and he knew how to speak to them.
Yeah.
Right. You don't have to be part of a community or of the community to be able to speak to the community. You just have to understand the community. You have to understand what their culture is, what their values are, what their interests are.
Yeah, how does that message resonate? You know,
Yes.
if they feel it,
Right. There has to be
Then
some
they get it.
authenticity,
Then they get
right?
it, no.
I
Right.
mean, there has to be some authenticity, right? I mean,
Sure.
Steve Jobs is genuinely kind of an innovative type, and
Yeah.
and the company is genuinely innovative. It has philosophies that are genuinely innovative.
Right.
So it all follows. It was easy for them because they did it from the front to the back.
And if you think the new head of Apple,
Yeah.
it looks kind of like Steve Jobs, right?
Ironically,
So
right?
kind of a clone type,
so
right?
what kind of successes in Hawaii? So what do we do in Hawaii? How do we pull people here? There's a lot of things that people are sort of unique to Hawaii, like Hibachi Talk, right? That the name we chose. We're
Right.
pulled 4 people so far. I mean,
Yeah, well,
it hasn't been a Steve Jobs moment, but
Yeah. But so your next step is to say, who do we really want to watch the show?
Okay.
Okay. And then
we want 5.
right, yeah.
One more than four.
Who's the fifth
Well, your
person?
your
It's a
husband
25%
will.
increase. Yeah, my husband.
Maybe
will
we'll
want
get 5 today.
Yeah, well, I'll get him to follow you. Then
That's
you'll
awesome.
be all the way up to 5.
Oh,
you know?
awesome.
Yeah, you'll be rocking. But who do you want to watch the show? Like, who's it really for? That also will give you guys have a chance to have some really fun in scripting directly to that group.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and for us, it's I'm trying to make sure that the youth understand that tech is a really sexy job, and it's not just developing.
Yeah, there's all kinds of
Applications,
things
yeah,
that you
yeah.
can do in tech.
I mean, look what you're doing. Look
Yeah.
at what you've done. You've
Yeah.
taken this
I'm not a
idea
coder.
and concept
Yeah.
and pulled it into a whole new business opportunity.
Yeah,
She's like
absolutely.
in experience communications, if you think about it. It's like
Yeah.
she's connecting people. She's working on that experiential level with technology.
Right.
So,
And
Yeah.
it's
So-
awesome.
It's cool. It's fun,
Yeah.
right? It's a cool blend.
what are you finding in the generation
Yeah,
gap?
tell us
like,
about the-
You've got the boomers.
Yeah.
And then then the millennials and the millennials who I love, the Gen X's and all of those kinds of things. Are they shifting into certain or away from certain
Sure.
social media?
Sure. I
Tool
mean,
sets?
certainly to some degree, right? I mean, if you're pretty much under 25, 20, you guys were talking about this.
Yeah.
You're probably not really using Facebook. So then the question is, where are you?
Yeah, where are they
What
going?
are you doing?
How do we get got money?
How do we
right?
go to them? So Instagram is very popular with that group. Snapchat, they love the Snapchat, right? And there are some innovative ways to market within these platforms.
Right.
And then the other thing that I find so interesting is the idea that what you were saying, we're all out there, we're all present, we're all giving it all. Now we're seeing an increase in back channeling apps. We're seeing like WhatsApp, right, is a private app, is
Yeah.
a private conversation tool, right? So that when we have our really tight circle of people, we want to be able to use technology to talk to them, but we don't want to do it necessarily always in public.
In the
Publicly,
neighborhood, right?
Yes.
So secret or whisper or
Yeah,
any of those
yeah,
kinds of
yeah.
ones.
Well, Secret's really intense, right?
Yeah.
Secret's completely anonymous.
It's
Right.
Tor. Is it a Tor? I'm not sure. I don't know Secret.
Yeah.
It's an app. So Secret's a cool app. You're anonymous on it.
Yeah.
It does connect with your friends,
Yeah.
so that you know if you're
Angus
connected
should
to
have
someone.
used Secret.
Angus should have used Secret. Because you can post anything, supposedly. I mean, I always caution, as you know,
Sure.
caution people against posting things too liberally. But the idea with Secret is you can post anything and it can't be tracked back to you.
Can't be.
So if you have
supposedly.
right. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
when
so-
they get hacked,
Yeah.
But
Watch
so
out.
now
I'm a skeptic on all that.
I mean,
that's
as
my job.
you should be, as you should
Somebody has to be.
be. Yeah.
So now you've got an interesting other set of tools now to start
Yeah,
pulling from.
it never stops. That's the technology aspect of what I do.
Yeah, I mean, wow. Because I'm thinking there are, from a social media standpoint, literally dozens of social media
Oh,
type apps out there
hundreds,
now. I mean,
thousands.
so many of them. And the large organizations have to be starting to look at mining all of those.
Yeah.
They just buy them.
Well,
they
I mean,
buy
if
'em.
you're looking,
Yeah, they buy
that
them
would be
and
better.
sort of
That would be
incorporate
better.
them.
Yeah.
And
that
they
would
get
be
a
better.
following, then they buy them up, right? Because they're so big already.
Yeah.
That would be nice, right?
Yeah.
That'd be nice. Yeah. I mean, I think, what I think is interesting is we all, and my clients are like this too, straight to Facebook, right? Everybody uses Facebook, we'll go straight to Facebook. But the interesting thing is what other applications can you use where you can really cultivate that really passionate community that maybe aren't so heavily used, right? Where there's not as much noise.
Yeah.
What can you do by swimming upstream as opposed to going with the flow?
Well, wasn't that what LinkedIn was supposed to do?
Yeah, LinkedIn, poor LinkedIn.
Yeah, and
I mean,
it's
I'm so disappointed.
I know. I have to admit the same thing to you. I mean, I'm about to cancel my second time on LinkedIn because of this thing where it said so and so just endorsed you. I
Right.
never asked anyone to
Yeah.
endorse me, and then it just goes viral, right? And
Yeah.
it's like I know my ego's big, but it ain't that big to go out there and say, oh, I need you guys to endorse.
I have people endorse me for things that I don't even know why they think that
They
I
should
should be
be
endorsed
endorsed
for
for it.
that.
Yeah,
You know, where did you get that idea?
Yeah, they're just clicking the boxes. Like
Yeah.
they're not really paying attention.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
And they don't even know some of them, right?
Right.
I mean, so yeah, LinkedIn was the premise of LinkedIn of being a nice, tight knit professional
Business.
community. I mean, I just went on my LinkedIn today and it looked like a Twitter feed. It was like filled with
Pulse.
pictures and I was just sort of like, ooh.
Yeah, I admit I went there and I go there and I look and I see all these messages from people that want to connect up,
yeah.
and I'm going, I don't know.
Oh, if you don't know them, you just
I
say
don't
no.
even know who
Yeah,
these people
no,
are,
they
right?
don't- they're
It's
not
like,
using it properly.
and I look who they work for and see, well, maybe,
Yeah, is there a connection there
well,
somehow?
maybe they
right?
could be a potential client.
Client, right.
So I'm doing it the other way around. I'm looking at them saying, oh, wait, maybe I could call them and see if we can provide services to them.
Right.
So rather than just trying to do whatever this connection is supposed to
Well,
do.
you know what I always tell people is if you're going to connect with someone on LinkedIn who you don't know, do yourself a favor and send them a personal message. Don't send that canned or that canned LinkedIn
never.
message,
Never.
right? You know, hey Gordon, we don't know each other, but I was interested in learning more about your business. Or hey Gordon, we don't know each other, but we have a mutual friend. Can we
Yeah.
connect here?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if you're so disinterested in actually creating a human connection that all you send is, I'd like to add you to my LinkedIn connection.
Yes.
Yeah.
How lame.
I'm not really.
That's what you were just talking about, your,
Yeah.
the languaging and
Yes.
and bringing that human element to the
back
digital
to,
side.
yeah, let's do that. Let's
And-
think about bringing that, you
And
know?
definitely hide, you know, on LinkedIn, you can hide all of your contacts. A lot of people just want to link to you, and if you'll accept it,
That's
they're
true.
just trying to mine your contacts.
Right.
So you
right.
don't want to allow that. You can disallow that. You know?
Yes, you can.
Well, that's that's why I've never
Don't link
allowed
them.
my contact list to be uploaded to anything.
Right.
Oh, that's smart. Mhm.
You know, not Facebook, not
Yeah.
LinkedIn.
No, I don't
I
do
mean, I got 3,000 plus
Contacts.
entries in my contact list. And you imagine that heading up there?
But only
I'd
if-
have 3,000 people really angry.
Well, there's only 4 of them watching us.
Well,
What's
they're-
going
and they're
on?
probably the ones not in my contact list. The ones that haven't discovered us yet. Well, I have to do an email blast to let
Yeah.
everybody know that,
Yeah.
that it's out there.
Right.
Really irritate the heck
Yeah,
out
I was
of
just
them.
going to say, 'cause everybody needs more email. I don't
Yeah.
know about you guys. I
Yeah.
mean,
So, can
What's
you
in-
say
what's
what
on
kind
the
of
horizon?
Well,
What's
yeah,
coming
what kind of
next?
clients
What's
you've
the
got, or can you
horizon?
say
Oh my gosh.
without,
I mean, I work with all different kinds of clients, so that's what I love about my job. That's why I own my company. I work with everything from personalities and to businesses. I do some consulting for agencies. So I do I do a lot of different things. I do I do some speaking.
Right.
Love doing public speaking.
Yeah, you've always been such an introvert.
Yeah, I have that problem.
Yeah.
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 Stay at home, huh?
Yeah,
All
just
right.
hide under my shell.
Sure.
So I like to do all different kinds of things. I have no idea what's on the horizon. I mean, I'm not a futurist. If I was a futurist, guys, you'd be on my show.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
yeah.
Ah, right on.
And you'd be getting
I like
$40,000
Yes,
an
I'd
episode.
be,
I like
yes,
it.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
I
I'd
like
be
it.
the Oprah of social media.
I like
You know what I mean? But I mean, I think what we're going to be seeing is we're going to see more of the back channeling conversation. We're going to see a bigger push towards what we're talking about today, towards being a little more human.
Okay.
It's fine to automate your workflows. It's fine to be as efficient as possible, but really got to keep in mind that ultimately, whether you're using whether you're using a dating site or whether you're using Twitter, there's a person on the other end.
Other end that's
Yeah,
there.
it's not a machine.
I see people tweet that a lot on Twitter. They're like, are there any people out there? Because everybody's just retweeting,
Yes.
retweeting,
Automating
retweeting.
everything.
Nobody's actually coming up with
Putting
original
new
content and putting
Right,
something
true.
out there. It's
Right.
just,
Well, I got some news for you.
yes, sir.
We burned away a perfectly good lunch hour again.
Oh.
It's unbelievable how fast this can go. And but we have our traditional autographed
Oh.
solo
wow,
cup. I
really?
haven't signed it yet,
Yes,
but,
and Angus signs it
and
as well.
Angus will sign it as well.
getting one of those.
Something a little special for you though, since it's
Ah.
Valentine. Now don't get Jeff all
No,
PO'd
he
at
won't
me.
Be,
You
he
know,
won't be
this is-
upset.
yeah. So just tell your
I won't
hubby.
tell him you
it
gave
was-
it to him.
yeah.
He'll be jealous if he
I
thinks
was-
you gave it to
And
him.
Angus gave it to you. Yeah.
Angus.
Angus gave it to you.
Oh,
So
thank
Angus
you,
gave
Angus
it
has
to
a
you.
way with the
See,
ladies,
yeah,
as
there
we're
you go.
learning.
It's just perfect.
Yeah,
So-
right?
See?
Anyway,
You
so
know.
Tara, so
Thank
nice
you.
having you.
That
on
was
the
great
show.
being here.
It's
Thanks
really,
for
really
having me,
fun.
guys.
Thank
I
you.
really
I
Thanks for
want
enjoyed
being
it.
here.
a
Thanks.
special thanks again to Emily and Zuri and Melanie, but I also got to give a special thanks out to James Grosh over in Florida. He's the creative director and puppet master, and he allowed us to use his photos in our
Beth
little trial episode today. So, and he's at custompuppets.com in case any of you want to make resemblances of yourself or golf club covers. So,
Nice.
and he's quite a fun guy. Anyway, thanks again for stopping by and joining us for a libation. We'll see you next week when we'll help you burn away another 45 minutes of your life. And how you doing?
Aloha.
Aloha.